is no fault of our own. There's a lot of people around here that don't have the ability to move out, just to leave this area. And, you know, not to be rude, but the last time I checked, it's easier to move a tent than it is to move a house, you know? Not to be a jerk, but, I mean, this is what we're seeing, and we're patient. We want people that are without houses to have homes. These people that are no fault of their own, some people, like working class people that are still going to work, getting up there, and like, you know, maybe got to rent evicted, don't have a place to go. You know, and this is all, they're falling by the wayside. And they're going to fall further in to homelessness if we don't help these people first. So let's help the people that need a little bit of help first, and these people that need long-term help, we can get there.
I'm going to tell you a little story.
We need to help people.
I'm going to tell you a little story. I thought there's religious people here in Fredericton. They have these clothes and soup and food helping the meth heads. So anyway, I talked to a pastor that's not involved in that, and I asked him, he's been there, how long have you been a pastor? 25 years. You help a lot of alcoholics, no, hundreds. They seen God, they seen the light, everything's fine. Domestic disputes, hundreds. They seen God, help, everything. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever succeeded in helping a meth head? He looked at me, he goes, not one. Not one. What does that tell you? They can't be helped. They can't. It's sad. I wish I was wrong. But once you're into that shit, and they're young people,
I know, you know,
and they're so arrogant. I mean, they think the world, like, and plus, they could wear masks at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, if you wore a mask 5 years ago, there would have been 10 cops around you. Now, they are good, law-abiding citizens. They don't want people to catch COVID, so they wear masks at 3 o'clock in the morning, riding their bicycle. What a goddamn world that we live in, huh?
Well, I seen some weird stuff, man. You know, I was just shocked. Like, I shared this story from when I was a kid. Rockwood Park here, we had a weirdo, a guy who was masturbating in the park when I was 5 years old. I remember every detail of that man, right? And it was pretty traumatizing to me. And the other day, I was down Lansdowne, Tim Hortons, and there was a fella in the street just doing the same thing, masturbating. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. But imagine if it was the daytime and a girl saw that, or a young kid or a woman or something like that. That's traumatizing stuff. So when are we going to start protecting our citizens from this stuff, right? Like, I understand people have problems and drug issues and stuff like that and need help, but we can't allow this to affect. It's spilling out into the streets. The harm reduction stuff, the needles and stuff is spilling out into the streets. The drug use out in the streets, it's affecting everybody, and it's not safe. So, I mean, what do you do?
I guess
what's the answer?
I guess a little bit of Viagra is equal, a little bit of crystal meth is equal to about 5 Viagras. That's what I was told. It was.
I don't.
They're just.
I don't know, man. It's weird.
Oh yeah, I know. They
hypersexual, I guess. It's just.
They were at the Phoenix Learning Center across from the Delta, and they were using playhouse of the people in the yards, everything. And the citizens got together very politely. They were smart. They said, we have nothing against the poor, but this is not the area. And you know what? It got moved out of there. They were destroying everything. I mean everything. No. You know, I got to ask you, do you know a Jason Sully? When you grew up.
Jason Sully, yes.
You know him?
I did. So I know. Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I've known him. Yeah, man. He used to play basketball back in the day.
Yeah. He told me you wouldn't remember him. I guess
No,
you just did.
No, I do remember him. His dad, Tom.
Good. Yeah.
I do. I remember Jason. And hey, Jason.
Yeah.
You're watching this. So.
Yeah, he is watching this.
He was a nice guy. Really, really good. he had a good, always a nice guy, community guy, volunteer for basketball. I remember him reffing basketball games, and he'd always just call fouls on me. So that's my only beef with Jason.
I thought when I put your picture and I said, is this a spokesperson for the Met heads? And then he quickly sent me a note and said, Charles, no, he's not.
So I look like this, I only look homeless. I'm not actually homeless. And so it helps me relate with these people so I can get out there and I really talk to these people and know their stories. And there's some people that want help. I do see the human eyes of it. I don't see a whole lot of meth use down here right now. I do see a lot of fentanyl use, and a lot of tranq and some jib, whatever that is. But there's some, the meth stuff's starting to pick up. So we're going to see some interesting stuff. Summer's coming. And,
yep. So are they going to remove those tents?
We see a lot of overdose.
Are they going to remove those tents? Those tents won't be there?
Well, they're supposed to... Yeah, so they're removing the tents. They're putting in containers down there, but this is a temporary project.
Yeah.
I think as soon as they get down there, they're not going to move those containers once they're there.
No.
They don't have any other place to put them. The city is absolved from responsibility because it's on private property. Tons of bylaw violations down there. They're being ignored, and because it's on private property.
Bullshit.
People have to stay off there. So
how come the people
down there because it's private property?
The people in that area shouldn't pay the property tax because all the rats are going to show up there. I'm not talking about human rats. It's going to be bad there.
Oh no. We already had rats. My girlfriend did a interview with CTV about the rat problem.
Really?
And these things are huge. They're like the size of a cat. These things are massive. And we didn't have that last year. This started in August. And, you see them popping up and stuff like that around here. And then they're all over the place. And I think the biggest issue is that you allow them to congregate in one area. You should spread them out. No more than 2 tents or 2 people in an area. Spread them out. Because if you get a large group in one area, you're going to see things like crime, drugs, prostitution, all this
everything
that we're seeing up here. But it's not happening. It's not happening, though. No. That's what they say.
Yeah. They're turning a blind eye. Turning a blind eye to the issue. And the court system, I talked to somebody from Vancouver yesterday. They told me they had a court system for the crimes, and they had another different court system for the people on drugs. So they had two different ones. And the one on drugs, they just let them go. Let them go. They show up in court, they start crying. And then, same old. I don't even know why I get involved in this. Oh yeah, that's right. The woman on top that was living above me, that drove me, that changed, it's scary. It's very scary.
You never know, and you don't know what's going on there. And this is why we're concerned about this. They move into these dens, right, and they start cooking whatever they're cooking there. And, we had a fire at the end of Waterloo Village here the other last year, just before Christmas. 20 people were displaced. And we had another fire around the corner. Another 20 people that were displaced. So this type of behavior is causing more people to be homeless. People using drugs in these apartments and getting evicted for drug use. This is causing homelessness. So these same people that get evicted from their house, moved out of their house down into the encampment.
They used to be evicted. So when I was in St. John, they would be evicted when they gather up in the place to drink beer and use as a hangout. My God, drinking beer and a hangout for a hangout. I mean, those were the good old days. But now, oh my God, it's just... I